Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Bitcoin report for Friday, November 4th. So, yesterday we had a look at the NASDAQ and we're going to look at it again today, just in relationship to Bitcoin, because basically, you know, Bitcoin's been treated like a tech stock and you know, the penny hasn't dropped on the global community just yet about that. But it's interesting that you know, we're looking at the NASDAQ being quite bearish, creating 5 waves down here for wave 1 and 2, and then this strong third wave down here. I think that's the one that's going to pull Bitcoin at that point. So we've got a few. This, you know, this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, probably, you know, 4 or 5 days maybe for this to start that pull down here. Maybe maybe a little bit earlier. But as you can see that, you know, the distance that's come down now has really put this into jeopardy as being a corrective pattern as I figured. And, you know, we're going down for, you know, well, this is just wave 1 here, all of this. So we're going down for wave, you know, wave 3. Even if this was an A wave, and if we went WXYs with everywhere and put an A and a B here, we'd still get the same length here over here for that. So, so I think that's interesting because basically, the other point that I wanted to make is that the NASDAQ is moving down, where Bitcoin is really holding its own. I mean, it has come down, but it's really sitting on the fence of that 20,000 there. So I wanted to talk about this a little bit. So I've had wave 3 here with wave 4 here, and then looking down as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know that's a bit dodgy as wave 1, and then looking for the move back to the 61.8% mark up here. So it can still go higher here. I can count 5 waves from that little low here to that little high here for that. So I could look at this as an ABC pattern for this. I could look at it in terms of, yeah, like I've got here an ABC pattern for this. I mean, I could go WXYs as well, but what I wanted to say here is that if this market drops through here, right, and then creates that first low below that level there, then we will just be bearish from that point and we'll be, you know, coming down from that point. If it pushes up here, then we'll look at it still as wave 1 here with an ABC pattern for wave 2 at this 50-60% retracement level, and that would be fine. The other way to view this too, I think we need to like put all counts on table and then just eliminate them one by one and so on. The other way to look at this is that getting this wave 4 here and dragging it over here somewhere. So dragging it over here somewhere, just looking at this here as an A wave here, a B wave here, a C wave here, a D wave here, an E wave here, and then dropping down at that point. I mean, the whole thing looks pretty corrective. Do you know what I mean? I can see that we can look at it, you know, I've had wave 1 up here, and having wave 2 down here is also a possibility as well. We know that, you know, the hodlers are hodling away, but I can see from the futures market, if I look at the futures market here, the important thing here is, out of all of these here, the important thing is the hedge funds. That's what the leverage funds are here, just hedge funds. So we can see on the short side here that we've still got, you know, well, 53% to this. So there's basically, you know, 7,000 or 8,000 contracts to 3,500 contracts here, you know. So 23, so basically double really, you know, on the short side. So that pressure is still there, and, you know, it's a bit of a dog and wag the tail, hold the tail kind of situation, you know. So the paper money is can pin that down there on the futures, on the CME, on the CME contracts. As far as the bullish count here goes, as 1 here and back for 2 here. Our crypto analyst Kitty Upon here has been looking at that on the bullish side. So that's just the hourly chart here for that at the moment. So looking at it with wave 3, 4, and 5 down here as wave 4 here. So and then trying to do our best to count the structure to the upside here. So he's been doing a fantastic job on that, and over here as well, just the 4-hour chart, just sort of breaking that down a little bit. So yeah, so it could be bullish. We'll just keep working it and seeing how that plays out at that point. Let's see some of these other ones like BNB here have really sort of pushed up nicely here, got that really bullish tone about them, so you can see that. How's old Cardano going here? The daily chart, yeah, so pushing that up as well. We have ETH as a positive count as well. ETH counts better up as wave 1 here and 2 here, and 1 and 2 counts quite nicely up here as well. Just have a look at the 4-hour chart for ETH. Yeah, what about some of the others here? I won't worry about this. That's just we've got portfolio 1, which is these guys, and portfolio 2, which is all of these ones here as well. So, but anyway, so the whole thing can be viewed in different ways, but the weight of the Nasdaq, coming back to the weight of the Nasdaq, that's why I'm looking on the short side, because I can see the weight of it coming down at this point. So yeah, just got to be a bit mindful of that. So yeah, let's just see. There's this little pattern in here does appear to be corrective. So it does look like it wants to push up at that point. So let's just go in here and just have a bit of a look at this. I've just sort of, it doesn't really matter about the count too much. It's just this pattern in here. The main point with this pattern here, it doesn't look impulsive to the downside. I mean, it could be, it could be down for 1 here, back for 2, then down for 1 here, and ABC for 2 here, like the S&P 500 and the Russell and all of those have been giving, and then down for 1, ABC back for 2, and down. So it can come down, but at first glance, you would just label that a whole lot of WXYs at least, but being bullish corrective at this point. So we'll just see. Like I said, it hasn't reached its 50-60% retracement level up here yet, and Ethereum is the same as well. This is looking at it on the bearish side, so wave 3 here with 4 here, and once again we can drag wave 4 over here and end up with a I'm looking at it as 1 2 3 4 5 for 1 here and back for 2, and then coming down for 3 4 5. But just as easily we could just put this across here as a corrective pattern into to a triangle pattern in here, and then down at that point. So we'll just see how much the Nasdaq weighs on, the community basically weighs on that to the downside, and we can see that, as I mentioned, we can see that on the CME futures, the weight is there as well. But we'll see, even if the market was bullish, well, then we'll take on Kitty Pond's account, wave count, and we'll look for 5 waves up in this space here. We'll look for 5 waves up, and then we'll look for a corrective pullback at that point, and then we'll suggest that we can go long at that point. But we just need to be a little bit careful about all of this. We don't want to get caught in a trap with this. So. That's where we are today with everything. So not a lot to say, but it's just good to shoot the breeze about it a bit, and look at both sides, and try not to be biased, try to be sort of open about the situation, and just try to stay with the evidence of everything. And but it is interesting that the crypto is moving up and the Nasdaq is moving down. That's the first time that we've really seen that sort of dislodging from one another. They've been in sync. They kind of are still in sync a little bit, but they're not moving together in the same, traveling in the same distance. Alrighty, enjoy the weekend. Cheers.